Hey neighbors, tax season is almost here. And did you know if your household earned less than $84,000 in 2025, you qualify to file your taxes at no cost through United Way's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, or VITA program. Maximize your refunds and save on filing fees. Get free tax prep from United Way and keep more of what you earn. Visit UnitedWayFileFree.com to learn more. Today on CityCast Nashville, in 1975, Wynn and Patty Mint opened International Market and Restaurant on Belmont Boulevard. Since then, it's been a Nashville institution for nearly 5 decades. And now it's earning global recognition thanks to their son, Nashville chef and James Beard Award nominee Arnold Mint. He is here today to talk about his family's legacy, his new cookbook, and what it means to carry that history forward. It's Wednesday, February 11th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Arnold Mint, welcome to CityCast Nashville.
Hi.
I'm not supposed to fangirl, but I'm sorry. I have to fangirl. I am obsessed with you. My family's from Nashville. I went to International Market starting in the 80s. And maybe this is too much to say, but I have fallen in love with traveling to Asia. And I bet it started at your mama's place.
I love that. That's great to hear. I mean, we were literally the Epcot Center of Nashville, giving culture one bite at a time, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when nothing else existed.
Nothing.
Just biscuits, really.
Yeah, biscuits and ham. There's nothing wrong with that,
right.
though. Come on. That's nice.
That's right.
But...
Well, what we have to get into, that's the most exciting thing that happened last year, was your cookbook. So huge congratulations to your cookbook, Family Thai, blowing up all the best of lists of 2025. LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, Bon Appetit. Why was it important to share your family's story with the world?
Wow, there's so many layers to this question. I mean, this could be the one question for the entire episode, I think. Growing up in Nashville, first, let me say that I felt like a unicorn a little bit. You know, not only was I raised in an Asian family, but I was also a little gay Southern boy growing up, figure skating and wanting to do the balance beam and not the rings and gymnastics and, you know, twirling my Barbie doll on a skateboard. It was very different for me growing up. And luckily, I had a very accepting and welcoming family that supported just me through unconditional love, right? And that's how they practice within the walls of International Market. The inclusivity of people in those walls that I witnessed growing up was really a big example. For me, I saw the kind of person I wanted to become and be, right? So one, the story is that unicorns exist everywhere, even in Tennessee, not just the big cities. And for me, after my parents passed away, especially, it was more so motivation to heal myself in self-discovery. But as I started writing the book, it was more of a gift and a thank you and homage to my city that embraced our family back in the 70s. I mean, my parents did something super amazing by introducing stuff that they just knew authentically to them, who they are as people growing up and coming in as a new generation in America. And so I'm very grateful to have been given that opportunity to share and shed some light on the history and the breadth of a new American South.
Well, as you've been sharing your story, is there one recipe in your book that you would like to shout out to really celebrate our city?
You know, I think the coolest thing is that this cookbook is more than just a cookbook, right? When you think of cookbook, you're like, oh, there's recipes that I can thumb through. For me, I wanted to make it a book for those that don't cook, where there's a series of memoirs inside, the writing, the essays that really kind of share a new breadth of Nashville and Southern culture. And luckily for me, those that pick up the cookbook that also love to cook read beyond the recipes, and shout outs like from Southern Living Magazine being one of the best cookbooks in the South was really monumental for me because the other books were ham and biscuits, you know? And so the fact that we do have purpose and visibility and a place at the table with what we're cooking in terms of Asian cuisine really is special to me. So, I mean, the cookbook isn't necessarily what you would think it to be a Thai in the Thai sense, right? You think Thai food, Thai restaurants in America, chances are you can close your eyes, place your order, and expect that to be the same everywhere you go. That's not the case at my restaurant if you've been lately. And that's not the case of this book. You have to think a little bit. And really, that leans into the authenticity of the flavors of the South, just with a little bit of Thai flair.
Well, this all started 50 years ago. Your mom was walking down Belmont Boulevard, which in the 70s was so different than it is now.
Yes.
And it's amazing that she had the wherewithal to see the future of this business in that place. Can you share with us maybe what she first imagined for international market?
Well, I will give credit to where credit's due here. It's my father that did this,
really?
Right? So my father was a professor, a math professor,
right.
Very calculated mathematician. So a big bulk of our family legacy is in real estate and in investments.
I know. Good job, Dad.
Right? And in numbers and projections of where the city is going to go. So I was raised on Belmont Boulevard. I'm moving back into the house I was born and raised in. I think he bought it for like $30,000 back in the day, which was expensive because it's on Belmont, not the street behind, which were available for $10,000. And if you know Belmont Boulevard now, you can do the math. So it's keeping up with the Joneses a little bit difficult. But in terms of the vision, I don't think the mindset of our family business was to be successful in the way that we have become. It was more so to feed some nostalgia and to provide comforts of home that my family missed. You know, my mother came here and was the wife of an educator, a scholar, and she obviously, was fed Southern traditional food, collard greens, cabbage, braises, barbecue, fried chicken, which we all love, but there's a taste of home that you just need to have sometimes. And for my mother, creating international market and cooking that food just really was a place of comfort and familiarity for her to keep her going every day. And the fact that she had this huge magnetic spirit drew people in. Nashville is continuing to grow, and we're bringing in worldly people and people of all intellects and experiences that also love this food experience that she had to offer.
Like you said, she was eating fried chicken, biscuits, meat and threes were really big. So like an Asian steam table in the 70s feels very radical. Why do you think people embraced it?
Food transcends, I think, everything. There's a common bond that we have when we sit at a table or we share a food conversation or a dish or a plate or a bite. And there's correlations and similarities globally to how we experience food. A Thai meat and three is an American khao gang in Thailand. It exists. So these are types of restaurants that exist in Thailand already that happen to be very similar to what we're used to in the South. Basically, instead of the meat, you get the rice, and then you pick your three. So my mother, when she first saw the meat and three, she was like, oh my gosh, this is home. Except the only thing is everything in those hotel pans isn't the food that I eat. So I'm going to change that. And it's something that people are familiar with. So really, it was an education without being an education, right? For us, it's like she kind of found her familiarity and similarity to adapt her flavors into. That easily introduced her culture into Tennessee society.
It's also just such a beautiful place to go and share a meal with community because it was such an open space with booths and...
Well, I also love the strategy behind the meat and three or the cafeteria style of dining because the language barrier also, you could visually see what you're getting yourself into. I mean, I still go to certain ethnic restaurants now and I'm not really versed in that genre of food and I don't know what to order or how to order, but I eat everything and I want to eat everything. At least in this sense, as an introduction to Nashville in the 70s, you can point and you can see something that might look right for you,
All right, so when your parents launched International Market, it was on one side of Belmont Boulevard, and now it's on the other.
Yeah, so, I get the timeline between COVID and my parents a little bit mixed up because we kind of had a big transition for the world, at that time. So we definitely kind of took over that little area in Belmont. We had 3 operating restaurants and Belmont University is right next door. For those of you that are out there in the nation that aren't familiar with Nashville, Nashville has this little historic area that we live in. I like to call it the West Village of Nashville. It's a very fun, young, running, walking street. I grew up on that street. My daycare was at a church next door to the restaurant. I mean, I grew up on that street. I'm going to move back to that street. So the evolution of that also includes a university on the corner, and Belmont University has kept their eyes on my parents' property for a very long time. Thanks, Dad, for that strategy, like I mentioned. And so finally, the number was right, and my parents decided to sell to the university with enough timeline to celebrate closing. But unfortunately, before we could celebrate, my mother passed away. So on the 44th year of International Market at its original location, we shut the doors. And now it's this big, beautiful performing arts center, which, I don't think they could ask for anything better to go there because they really love the arts. And I had a restaurant across the street that was closing because of COVID, just because we didn't want to operationally do takeout in that setting. And now it is now the new place of International Market. So the beauty of this is we can still look out the window and relic in the moments of what the old International Market is. And even for generations that are coming in new, because if you think about it, we're in our 50th year now. We closed 6 years ago. A new generation of university students have never discovered, never knew what International Market was, OG. So they're discovering a new era of International Market. And we still have those that have come in like yourself from the 80s or even the 70s that are still in like little like memory lane International Market. But it all works. It all works.
And it's all accepting. Like everyone was so kind and warm there, and willing to hear stories too of like, I used to come here in the 80s.
I mean, that's something that is really beautiful. Is another reason why this book resonates, I think, with so many, is it really stemmed from the stories that we got after my mom passing away. I've said this before in a couple other interviews and some articles. My sister couldn't handle working front of house when we reopened, hearing the stories because her death was so new. So her therapist told her to get comment cards to give to guests. Those comment cards became the inspiration behind the cookbook and the stories. So we have them under glass tables at the restaurant. I featured some in the book of generations of families coming in, discovering an egg roll for the first time, making an egg roll with my mother. Now they make it as a holiday tradition. Things like that are continuous stories that keep us going and keep the heartbeat of the restaurant. So it's really beautiful.
Well, what part of carrying on your family legacy felt like an honor, and then what part felt complicated? Just a little complicated. Families can be complicated.
There's a bit of humble pie involved with carrying on a family legacy, but it's a great thing because without the legacy, I wouldn't be where I am. I get some shout outs and I do competitive cooking and I do some TV stuff and media things and I love it. But the voice that I have now is because of what my parents have set up, because of what my mom has left for me. And I love that the accolades and the shout outs that I get are from sharing her story and her food. Recently, we got a Michelin recognition. Michelin came to Nashville, and we were one of the very first to be recognized in the American South. And when I went to go read the blurb that the Ghost Diners wrote about us, it was all about the food from the daytime steam table. So for me, trying to push my chefiness, is that a word? Trying to impress myself as a chef in the world, to see that my mother, even though she's not here physically, her spirit has carried on the legacy and is still getting recognized, is super humbling and beautiful for me and poetic. So yeah, the carrying it on is a great thing, but I still have some, tricks up my sleeve for myself too.
Well, speaking of your own voice and your own tricks and making your name for yourself, but you also, you're Susie Wong.
I am. I have an alter ego named Susie Wong. She's quite dynamic. She's a drag queen, guys, by the way. So just so you know. And she's been around for a while, but she does not cook. I don't allow her in the kitchen. I work extra hard so I can afford to pay her bills. But she's a fabulous person, very much inspired by the character of my mother and just the beauty that she had in the world.
And does she perform anytime soon that we can all come out and support?
She doesn't, how do I say it? She's evolved since Dancing for Dollars.
Yes.
I don't really do things for a bar tab and free tequila and chicken tenders anymore. But I do charity work. I do large productions. I do a big production in Telluride, 2-hour show that I produce for Gay Ski Week, things like that. but she's available if you're interested and if the dollar is right, if the price is
Love to
right.
hear that. Love that. That's where your father, again, is
Yeah,
instilled in you. That is
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Well, so what are you most proud of that you and your sister have accomplished recently? You said the Michelin Guide. What else?
Starting off the year pretty strong. It was an amazing, 2025 was just amazing for us in terms of the restaurant, in terms of personal life. I mean, there's so many things to be happy about. I have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter that I had through surrogacy. And so she's thriving and the restaurant's doing great. I feel that my proudest moment within the food world is, it's always a question of it's not if, but when, and I had my eyes set on being on the cover and getting shout outs and accolades all my career. And now that it's coming into fruition, it's more of a timing thing where, yeah, this is the right time for this to be happening. Because for me, it's not the cap of everything. It's just kind of like part of the process of where I'm headed and where I am in my life. So for me, the success that I'm feeling is that we're retaining a customer base that are older clientele and newer clientele that are coming in and supporting the restaurant on a daily basis. We're happy that our restaurant is full every single day. I'm happy that I can call the shots to make that happy and successful for everybody. I have a team that loves me. I love them. Where they've been with us forever. They're loyal to us. There's some aunties that have been working with us since before I was born that are still around. We've curated this work mentality where I will sacrifice reservations and tables so my team stays sane. I will shut off takeout at night. Sorry, guys, for that call every day, but because we're too busy and we can't handle the pressure. I'm at a place where we're cooking beautiful things and sharing things within our control, and I'm very content with that. And to get to that point is very interesting because at one time it'd just be like, make the dollar, make the sale, make the dollar, make the sale. And then now I'm just like, let's just make ourselves happy and go home and be able to sleep at night.
Well, speaking of something very special, International Market stands as Nashville's only restaurant recognized with the Thai Select honor by the Royal Thai Consul. When did that happen?
Hey,
just a little,
I was having dinner with the Princess of Thailand in New York this summer. Actually, I was, but I'm being small flexes here and there, right? No, so this is the global recognition with Thai Select is basically like the Michelin of the Thai royal family. It's a global thing worldwide. They recognize tons of restaurants and they have a tiering system from 0 to 3. Only a couple 3-star restaurants outside of Thailand. One is in France, actually. So when they gave us 2 stars, that was kind of very like, whoa. But I think also they're looking at what establishments out there are promoting Thai food and culture to the masses. The fact that they came into Tennessee and found us, or the fact that I knocked on their door many times for them to open the door to find us, is really special. And the fact that they acknowledge and validate what we're doing is even cooler.
It's pretty hard to get into your restaurant for dinner these days, although folks make a reservation and get in there because it's absolutely worth the wait. What restaurant in town would you nominate for second choice for the Thai Select? If there was one.
Ooh, the thing is, it's a very difficult criteria. I travel a lot, so I eat out usually Thai food in other cities. It's pretty interesting to think that when my mother opened International Market, a lot of the Thai food vocabulary that you're experiencing in Tennessee have come through working with us at International Market. So you see a lot of nuances of my mother in how the business models work for other Thai restaurants in Nashville. I do enjoy a restaurant called Dek Thai, which is a fast counter. And I like them for one dish that I'm obsessed about. It's probably one of my best bites in Nashville consistently. And it's their Pat Krapao Mu Kai Dao, which is, repeat after me, right, Marie? No, it's their spicy Thai basil pork with a fried egg. It's probably the best one in the city. I actually asked some of my Thai colleagues at my restaurant if they like it, and they're like, yeah, it's the best one. But I go for specific dishes to places. I mean, the Still Siam Cafe on Thompson Lane, they've been around forever. They have like an under $10 beef noodle soup, which is like nothing fancy, but I crave it and I go there when I can. And then obviously there's another place that near and dear to my heart, more chefy, which got a Bib Gourmand this year from Michelin, and that's SS Guy. So they're like top notch for me.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so not only do you give back in food to our community, but you also have a nonprofit organization that I'd love to quickly talk about, Nashville Launchpad.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it.
Oh, okay.
It's not mine. Yeah. So something that my parents instilled to me and my sister growing up is that, and I think it's a very Buddhist or Thai cultural practice. It's called tambun, or giving merit. And that's when you don't just do it in lieu of donations when somebody passes away. You do it when you celebrate something great. You do it when you have a little extra in your life. And so for me, there's always in the back of my mind, what can we do to build community by paying it forward? I also love doing events with fellow chefs. We just did a fundraiser for the Red Cross of Thailand because there was a huge flood in the south of Thailand that took hundreds of thousands of lives and homes washed away through the rains. So we did this winter chicken dinner benefit where we had Hattie B's, SS Guy, Henrietta Red, Turkey and the Wolf. A whole bunch of my buddies came, and we raised about $10,000 for this dinner just to send over, which in Thailand that stretches a lot more than it does here. But, I love community building in the sense that, like, how can we get together and not really stroke each other's egos, but kind of help build the community as a whole. And by working with charities and nonprofits, I think that's the best way to do that. So yes, Nashville Launchpad is something that we've been supporting for over, 8 years now, maybe closer to 10. I started doing it when things were going really well in my life. And then I committed to do it after my father passed away as an homage to him on a weekly basis. So basically what we do is we feed at peak season 30 homeless or displaced LGBTQ plus youth. And with the grant money that they're given, I just figured by giving food, it alleviates a little bit of cost so they can focus on other things like education or other survival tools or sundries they might need. So we do it weekly. I love it because it also gets my team together and we plan this meal like we're the cool cafeteria ladies. And, like, what are we making this week? It's not necessarily our food from the restaurant. It's stuff that our food vendors give to us to create. We're basically creating a staff meal, family meal for 30 more friends at the table every week. And it's just a simple gesture.
Well, I'd like to end on a warm note. I would love for you to just remind listeners what your mom would say to customers if she were here today.
I'm going to pull little heartstrings right now for you really quickly. It's actually an essay that I included in the book about a specific recipe. It's an heirloom recipe of our family shumai pork dumplings, which were introduced in 1975, day one, when International Market opened. My grandmother made this recipe. My mother handed it over to me. And back when I started toying with archiving family recipes, I reached out to my mother and she gave me this shumai dumpling recipe over the phone. I was hiding in Joshua Tree during COVID. And I was like, I'm just trying to archive as much as I can while I'm sitting here baking bread, right? And so she gave me the recipe. And right before we hung up, I could hear her calling me back to the phone. And she was like, hey, don't ever change this recipe. It's perfect. Be good. I love you. And so that was our last phone conversation. She passed away 3 days later. So for me, that dumpling recipe really sealed the deal with me wanting to archive this book, right? And that's what she usually tells to her customers too, is the be good, I love you moment. So that's my mother, all warm and fuzzy, all wrapped up in a dumpling, Patty Mint, be good, I love you.
And you have that sign in your window, correct?
Yeah,
be good.
Me too. That's our open sign, is be good, yeah.
Well, so do you think her spirit lingers in our city then?
I think that Patty Mint will forever be a part of Nashville. She did so much for the community, and not only in introducing a new culture to our city, but also being a welcoming space for a lot of people that needed a place that felt like home. And what she did through that was create a bigger home for everyone.
Well, Arnold, it really has been an honor having you here today. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to dine at International Market as soon as possible.
See you soon. Make reservations.
I will.
Thank you. You know somebody now, so just give me a call. Just text me.
Thank you. I've made it. That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!